Hey everybody, welcome to my living room and my living room stairs, which are pretty high on the ugly scale. This house was built late 70s, and whoever did these stairs just did not do a very good job. There's not a lot of good finished work here, as you can kind of see. I mean, there's no returns on the treads, so this isn't what you're supposed to do. You don't just hack it off flush. It looks terrible, as you can see. So as we are doing some work further up here and painting, and hopefully you saw my last video on this light fixture, as we're kind of making our way into the living room now, it is time to do something with these stairs. So we're gonna do the same thing, whatever we do down here, we're gonna do the same thing up here, just so it all kind of goes together. These beams are supporting some of the main beams, and unfortunately, they're not supposed to be. But over time, that beam has come down and has put a lot of pressure on these 4x4s that shouldn't be there. So that'll be fun too. But we're gonna first start with the stairs here and bring this up to more of a contemporary look from the toilet style look that it currently is. And poof! It's gone. It looks so cool up here, and it just makes the house feel so much more open, getting all of that, just all that wood really just kind of blocks your lines of sight of everything. So I think what we're gonna do here is put in some wire railings, much more modern, but it also doesn't really interrupt your view very much, and I think that's gonna look really nice. So of course, before we go and cut out any of these 3 supporting beams here, I will use my sophisticated measuring tools to determine the load and the load calculations, and I'll give you an idea what that looks like. Yeah, that should be fine. So what I am gonna do is put a hydraulic jack under these beams and obviously take the weight off of them. It'll help me to get an idea of just how much weight is actually on those 4x4s. It should be fine, just like its brother right next to it has no support beam until it hits the wall there. But you never wanna just shock it by cutting it. You're gonna take the load off of it and then slowly let it down. And that's the plan. What do you think, Shubs? It's my structural engineer here. The camera's freaking around. All right, well, Shub, you just keep an eye on it from there, and if you see any OSHA violations, you just let me know. Stairs are now all stripped down, and we have a new perfect example of one project snowballing into another project. So I took out the bottom stair here and realized that while I have access to that area, it's gonna make sense to fix something that has bothered me for a while about our basement stairs, which happen to fall directly below these. If you take a look, this is the lighting system for these stairs, and it's kind of like walking into a dungeon. It's dark and it kind of sucks. So I've already taken the cover off this light. This isn't usually this ugly, but it doesn't look much prettier. And that's really the only light we have down here. And as you see down the basement, it's a fully finished basement, so it's pretty nice. But those stairs just don't do much for me. So while we have access here, I think it's time to take this one light and hopefully turn it into a bunch of cans up in the ceiling here. Like I need another project. Good Lord. Much, much, much better. So for the risers, I end up just going with some nicely sanded plywood. I think this is birch, but the key to it is really it's your most cost-effective way to get a knot-free wood surface, because we're just going to be painting our risers. But you could actually stain this, it'll look really nice as well. So those paint doesn't really matter. So we're just going to use that as kind of a facade, and then our treads will sit down over that. The important piece right now is making sure you've got enough shims, because you're going to want to make sure that this meets up with your little finish overhang here nice and tightly. Not a big deal for the bottom steps, but obviously the ones that are more at eye level, you'll see if that's off a little bit. So that's really the process here, is just cutting everything to fit very precisely, and then shimming it as needed to get a nice looking finished product. Now the subflooring that was here was just nailed in, so one thing I definitely want to do is go in with some nice heavy-duty construction screws and just zip the living hell out of this. All of them all the way up, and that'll just prevent you from running into any squeaks and stuff like that and pops down the road. As far as the treads go, I don't want to see anything exposed on these like the old ones were. I just think that doesn't look real nice, so going to be putting this down with some Loctite. Just make sure if you go this route that you use a poly, not a water-based adhesive, but this stuff will do the job, and again eliminates the chance of any noises developing over time. So you get a really nice feeling, solid staircase.
Sorry, I feel like such a long you're down here doing shit and I'm fucking laying in bed.
It's fine, hon. You don't feel good, don't worry about it. Okay, all set. Just do me a favor, never step on the edge of these for like the next 24 hours.
I don't know what you mean.
Like, don't ever do this. Step here.
Okay.
Okay, in the center of
So
it.
if I just kind of go down the side.
Yeah, just like what you're doing, just stay away from the edge.
Okay, just so I don't accidentally step on the edge.
Yes.
Okay. So can I step on this?
Yeah, just in the middle. Yeah, perfect.
Because you just glued it down.
I just glued it down. Step on the overhang. Bad things will happen.
Oh. I'm hoping I feel better later when it's time to clean up.
I do too.
Yeah, my head.
Alright, so we got this end board in place, and wife comes down the stairs and basically gives me the old, so is that gonna be kind of how it is, or what are your plans? So guess what that means. Plans changing. All right, so what she wants is basically these to cut in with the steps. I thought this would have been a nice clean look, and I think it is a nice clean look, but it's kind of plain. So ordinarily you would think, wow, that's going to suck to do, to go in and try to cut and do all of this, but with a router it just makes it so easy. So you get a bit like this. So your bearing obviously rides on the surface of the staircase itself. Let me get this crap off of it. And then it cuts flush to that bearing, everything, you know, with an inch or so in front of it. So this is going to allow us to literally trace out the lines that are on the stairs themselves, including the little detailed trim. And it's going to make a shitload of dust, and sawdust rather, but it will do it pretty quickly and pretty nicely. So yeah, here we go. Oh, mess. Tell you what though, does a hell of a job. So I think we're going to do that all the way down, and probably come back with like a quarter over round, and we'll just soften up that edge a little bit, and that should do it. So that gets our stair structure in place and good to go. So next episode we're going to be working on the very cool handrails that I'm really excited to show you. And obviously we'll finish off the wood here, paint our risers, and the treads themselves are going to be polyurethane just to bring that wood out. And I think you'll be pretty impressed with how everything kind of comes together, because I sure am. Thank you as always for watching. Do very much appreciate it. Any questions, comments, concerns, and or criticisms, you throw them down in the comment section below me. Otherwise, everybody have a great day.